Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about the 5th generation Grand Cherokee. While I know this one is a 4xe specific, we're not going to talk about the details of the 4xe. Check our other video for that. This is going to be just general encompassing of the 5th generation Grand Cherokee. The Grand Cherokee started being built in 1992. It's been built in the same manufacturer plant ever since until today. This 5th generation Grand Cherokee was first previewed as a Grand Cherokee L, which was the third row Grand Cherokee. A few months later, we got the 2-row Grand Cherokee. We did a review on the Grand Cherokee L. I'll have a link above there. You can check out that review. Thought the 2-row Grand Cherokee warranted its own review. The Grand Cherokee is one of the most awarded SUVs ever. I know that's a general saying, but it's won the most awards on multiple different things, from four-wheel drive system, comfort, reliability, resale. It is the most awarded SUV to date. The Grand Cherokee L came out in 2021. It was released thanks to COVID and everything with supply chains and all that, right? This Grand Cherokee actually was delayed, and so it came out a few months later in September of 21. And this is known as the WL. The predecessor model of the Grand Cherokee was also available the same year. So when you're shopping for a Grand Cherokee, there is an overlap of that same year, just kind of like the Wrangler had from 18 and a half. But this, you could actually buy a same model year Grand Cherokee and be two different models. So pay attention when you're going to look for value on a Grand Cherokee of what you're actually shopping for. This was a complete new redesign. You'll notice the front end, again, looks very much, it essentially is a Grand Cherokee L. The look, that's what we got out of it. I think the nice bold look up front looks really good. You got your 7-slot grille that you'll find as a Jeep Heritage, you know, on all the Jeep. You've got your Jeep badging, very nice look. We'll wrap around to the side. We'll talk about some of the exterior look, and then we'll take a dive inside. So moving around from the front to the side, this one does have the upgraded 20-inch wheels. Again, here we've got the 4xe plug. Again, see our other video for the 4xe version of that. You've got your Grand Cherokee badging. Again, this one is blue. You've got your black painted mirrors, which I think looks nice. And coming back here, obviously, you've got your fuel door. And then we'll move around to the back, and we'll talk about the back. So the back end of the Grand Cherokee, I do overall like the look of the Grand Cherokee. The back isn't my favorite. They slimmed out the taillights. You know, this comes across, which almost kind of maybe takes a page out of the Durango and the Chargers and Challengers a little bit, how it ties together. I'm not in love with the back, but I think overall it's a sharp-looking vehicle. You've got your fascia down here that comes off if you have a trailer hitch and if it's equipped. Grand Cherokees first came out, there was only 3 different trim levels. Now on the Grand Cherokee, not even talking about the L, you've got 11 different trim levels, and they range from 40 grand all the way up to over 80-some thousand dollars. When you're shopping for one of these and you're asking your sales associate all of these questions and specifics from one line to another, keep in mind that there's 11 different models in 11 different trim levels in this one model, on top of all the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram products they have to sell. The amount of options and customability of these things is incredible. So let's talk under the hood and tell you what's changed there. All right, so let's talk about what powers the Grand Cherokee. You have 2 options when it comes to a power plant. This one is powered by the 4xe version we talked about earlier. So it's got a 2.0 liter turbo motor, but it's also powered by electrical power plants within. We'll go into details in the other video. This one has 375 horsepower and 470 foot-pounds of torque. It actually is faster and has more power than the previous Hemi version. Jeep, for whatever reason, quietly removed the Hemi as an option from the Grand Cherokee. You no longer can get a Hemi version of the Grand Cherokee. Your only 2 options are the 6-cylinder or the 4xe. So, but keep in mind, the 4xe still has more power and is actually faster than the Hemi version of the Grand Cherokee. The back of these vehicles, you get a ton of cargo space on them. I think they're award-winning in its class for cargo space. These seats fold down. You obviously can put cargo all the way up to the front seats. But we'll talk about the space in the second row for tall adults, and then we'll move forward into some of the options and features up front. One little Easter egg you'll see too is you've got the the silhouettes of the 5 generations of Grand Cherokees. Comment if you know where this is on the Jeep. So here I'm sitting in the back. I look like I'm a little crammed. This seat is actually all the way back as far as it can go. And I'm over 6 feet tall. So to be fair, it's not by any stretch uncomfortable. And I don't know if how many people would actually have this thing all the way back all the time. And even so, you've got this recessed here panel inside the seats here, so it leaves you a little more room. This this package does have heated rear seats. You've got some DVD connection. You've got some connections back here: USB, USB-C, and I've even got a 115 outlet back here. Again, with this package, you get some window shades. I've got the panoramic sunroof, but the back seat is very comfortable. Keep in mind the back seat on the 4xe version is slightly different due to the battery packs underneath. So if anything, the other trim levels of the Grand Cherokee are going to have a little more room, mostly height-wise and the angle of the seat versus anything else, but it is slightly different. So we'll move up front. We'll talk about some of the features that are now in this 5th generation Grand Cherokee. So moving up front, they've done a really nice job with the whole dash of this vehicle. Obviously, completely fresh redesign. If you've been in the Grand Cherokee L, it's the same thing. If you've been in the Grand Wagoneer, there's a lot of features that you'll see that fall over from the Grand Wagoneer as well. This is a 10.2-inch touchscreen display. The other vehicles or the lower trim levels have the 8.1-inch. It's got wireless Android Auto. You've got a wireless charger down here. You've got a nice set of buttons up here for different options that may be available depending on the trim you purchased. You've got a screen over on this side, which you're not going to be able to see from the camera. We'll show that in a minute. But there are features that the passenger can do, such as looking for navigation or looking for restaurants, even watching a movie for that matter. They can plug an HDMI cord in here and watch a movie over here. As the driver, the screen is polarized. I can't see it. It cannot distract me. But the passenger can look for something on navigation and then send it over to the driver and say, hey, we want to accept this. This is where we're going. We've got a full digital dash back here. There are no more gauges when the vehicle's off. There's actually no more needles. There's no moving gauges. It's all electronic, and you can really customize what you want on this screen to match your style. There's countless, endless ways you can customize that dash. It's really cool. We've got our four-wheel drive system, and we've got our gear selector. This is actually made of a really nice metal. It feels nice. It feels the finish of it feels nice. It feels hefty. And your four-wheel drive now is a push button toggle switch, I guess you could say. And there are 3 different four-wheel drive systems. They still use the Quadra-Track and Quadra-Drive systems that have obviously been refined over the 5 generations of the Grand Cherokee. Your four-wheel drive low is also a push button. Remember back in the day, you had big levers and you had all these things to move. They're all mechanical. Those have gone by the wayside. You've got nice storage here. You've got 2 separate storage bins. One's deeper than the other. Again, this one has the panoramic sunroof. So this has what they call the luxury tech package. You get your digital mirror here, which if you don't like or you're not used to, you can flip back to a normal mirror. This one you can actually adjust up or down, if you want to see lower or higher, depending on what your preference is. You get the larger screen. You get the sunshades in the back we talked about. You get the power adjustable adjustable steering wheel. You get rain sensitive wipers. You get automatic headlights, automatic high beams, I should say. You also get the crash avoidance system. So there's a ton of things in that package. If you're a tech person, that luxury group 2 is probably going to be the package that you would want. It really kind of gives you those nice features that you don't have to tip over the edge to go to the $80,000 Summit Reserve and still get some nice features out of it. So we'll go for a quick drive and we'll show you a little bit how quiet it is and how nice it rides. With that tech package, you also get the 360 camera system. I mean, this thing is like watching high definition TV. You can toggle between rear and forward facing, and then the 360. And if you had a trailer hitch connected, you could hit this and you could dial right into your trailer hitch. So the camera system in itself is really slick. I would highly recommend it just for that alone. The wireless Android Auto is somewhat new within the past couple of years. Works really nice. No cords. It works seamlessly. Again, this is the hybrid version of the Grand Cherokee. So there are a couple little features in this that we talk about in a different video. But the ride of the vehicle is very, very comparable, whether you do the hybrid or not. This one weighs a little bit more just due to the batteries in the vehicle. But the acceleration on this is really, really impressive. And just the overall ride quality and comfort of this is something that I think that the Grand Cherokee has always done a really nice job with. A little taste of what acceleration is on this. Not full throttle, but again, that is a combination of the hybrid and electric motors doing its job. If you want to determine if the 4xe is for you, check out our other videos. The one thing, and again, nitpicking, the one thing that I would say I really actually oddly stands out to me that I have not noticed on the other level Grand Cherokees. So behind the steering wheel, which was introduced in 1996, was the steering wheel controls for the radio. So you've got your volume up and down and channels back here. Obviously, it's nothing new. If you feel the steering wheel, where the buttons should be and where they actually are, and I'll show it in a second here, is about 2 inches off. You really got to kind of reach back there to grab those. I don't know why they don't kind of land where your fingers are. And same with these the paddle shifters. If the paddle shifters are something that you actually enjoy using, to me, this isn't the kind of vehicle that you paddle shift, but the paddle shifters, they've really shrunk down in size and they've kind of tucked them back here. They look sleeker, but the functionality of them, I think, is a little less. But these steering wheel controls, they're tucked back there pretty good. And it's one of those things you probably wouldn't notice until you're casually driving and you just go to hit the radio and you're kind of fumbling for them. Again, so I've personally owned one of the original Grand Cherokees. It was original body, the ZJ it was known. So the Grand Cherokee has come a long way in 30 years. Huge thanks to Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram for letting us take this out and do a review on it for the weekend. Let us know your thoughts on it. Overall, we're really, really impressed. If I didn't own a Wrangler, I think this would be my go-to. This is just a great family vehicle. Really luxurious, really comfortable, and we really enjoyed it. So comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Huge thanks to Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. If you're interested in this Grand Cherokee or any other Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram product, or that matter, they own a Chevrolet store, be sure to check them out. Check out the reviews. Great family-owned dealership. Thanks again, and we'll see you at the next review.